and welcome to Mickey Art. My name's Michelle Edhouse, and today we're not pouring paint. I've had a number of you, when you have seen my paintings of me using these gorgeous little butterflies to pour on, which are made of records, asking how do you cut them, and when the lady who I bought these off delivered them, I said, so how do you do it? As you do when you're a crafty person, you always want to know how. And she said, oh, I just heat them up in my oven and cut them with scissors. And I was like, really? Surely it's not that easy. So I googled it, and pretty much as long as you warm the record, it will soften enough to be cut. And obviously that is going to vary on how much you need to heat. It depends on how thick your record is. Some records, like this one, is really thin, whereas this one's a little bit thicker. I don't know if you can tell that. Let's put them side by side. Can you see? No, can't really see that either. But there is definitely a difference. So I thought, well, I'm going to give it a go. And when I googled how to do it, I also saw it being done with a heat gun. Now this is something that you can then take outside and do it in the fresh air, so that you don't need to be wearing a mask, or if you're gonna do it inside, make sure you've got a lot of ventilation. You are heating plastic, so some of you who use your oven for things other than food, you may use your oven for food, may want to not use your oven. Up to you. Please, this is not a safety video on how to heat plastic. Please Google that. Do your own research on all of that. I have all my doors and windows open. It is a breezy-ish day. I'm quite comfortable with this, so I'm going to give it a go with the heat gun. I had somebody, after I did my heat gun versus hairdryer versus flame torch, say, I'm not buying a heat gun now. Well, maybe you might want to hold off on that decision until you've seen this. So literally all I've got is my painting scissors. These are the ones that I cut the ends off my my tubes of paint, so I can get all the paint out. That's why they're covered in paint. And what I'm going to do is, I've got these two marked up, and I'm going to make a moon and a star. And as I said, this one is a thicker vinyl than this one. This one bends very easily, whereas this one doesn't bend quite so much. And I'm expecting to not have to heat this one up so much. Those of you that have tried this before without the heating may know that these things break pretty easily, so highly recommend doing the heating part of it. So all I'm going to do is just turn the heater on to low and go along that first part of my line and just warm it. And I just noticed that this was starting to bend a bit, and that is the sign that it's nice and malleable. And as you can see, I can just cut. Now be aware of where you've heated to. Go in the next bit. And don't heat it too much, otherwise it'll completely distort. See, that was starting to distort on its own, and it cuts a lot easier, but it's also misshaping. And you're going to end up with some residual heat in there, so you're not going to have to heat as much on the future heats, purely because there's warmth already in there. done. So now we have our crescent, and so this is what I was meaning about don't get it too warm. So, and it may be that you need to actually let it cool down in between cuts. So this is warped through here, but you can just warm that back up again, and it just flattened itself back down onto the ground. So look at that, smoothed itself back out. I'm just going to do that here as well. Now the other way I've seen it done is with a heated scalpel, and that's if you really want to get intricate and do really pretty stuff. But there you go, there is my moon. But what I want to show you, just on over here, it's cooled down again now. What happens if I try and cut it? Oh my gosh, that is so hard. I can cut it. It is cuttable, but really hard to do. But it's not actually snapped. What can happen though is once it's been heated, it does change its properties. So this one I had a bit of a practice cut on, and as you can see, it's really, and you can snap them as well. Like by heating it, you actually can end up with that. And when you're using old records, you don't know what they've been through in their life. They may have actually been in the heat cold, heat cold, heat cold, and had that stress fracture stuff happening already. So just warm them up just that little bit, enough to give you that ease, ease of cutting. Hardly anything at all, really. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go around and do that line on each of the points. And that, what that's going to do is give me that part a little bit of a chance to cool down again before I go in and do the other one. Still does take a little bit of hand strength, so if you're not too strong in the hand, oh, overshot the mark. If you're not too strong in the hand, you might want to get your grandson to help out Grandma. But just take it easy as you get to that mark, because otherwise you do go through. The warmer it is, the easier it is to cut, but also the more distortion you get. Okay. Doesn't take much heat at all. And doing it with the heat gun, you can just put the heat where you need it, whereas if you're putting it into the oven, you've got that all over rover type cut, which is, I think, how she ends up with it, so distorted. Okay, And then it is just plastic, so you can come back with the sandpaper and just sand the edges off. Right, so there we have our 6-pointed star. To draw a 6-pointed star on a circle, you measure the circumference, divide that by 6, mark those 6 points, and voila, join them all together, you've got a star. Really simple. So I'm just going to go around and flatten all those bits out that and if you're working on paper like I am, make sure you're very aware of what that heat is doing. I just singed my paper just there. Okay. Alright. So you could make all sorts of flower shapes or whatever you like, really, and then go around and paint them. So I've got the stars and the moon, and I'm pretty sure that's probably on some flag somewhere. So if it's your flag, I adore you. If it's not your flag, then maybe it's time to visit that country and check them out. So there you go. That is how we cut these. That is how you do it, baby. So as you can see, what I've done is very simple shapes. Her butterfly, it takes a little bit more effort, and I'm just going to see if I can flatten some of this out, just because it makes pouring paint on it a little bit harder. Oops, wrong way. Then you can just put something down on it just to push it down. There we go, we've flattened that bit out. It's better. Definitely better. Awesome. So guys, I'm looking forward to pouring these in another video at some stage. What colours should I pour on them? Tell me in the description below. What colours should I make my star? And I think it's a star and sickle actually is the flag I'm thinking of. So what colour should I paint the star, and what colour should I paint the moon, and even let me know what colour I should paint the butterfly, and we'll have some fun in a future video. But thank you for joining me. I've had fun showing you how to do this, and I'm looking forward to seeing a heap of your creations on Cut Records in the Acrylic Pouring for Fun Facebook group once you've cut them and then poured your paint masterpieces on them. I adore you all. Have fun, and I will see you in another video as long as you subscribe, because then they'll tell you all about it. So hit the subscribe button and the notification button, and for those of you that are interested, I will be going live later on this month. So, no, later on this week. Let me see it. And so I will be going live, and I will be sending out an email to all of you that have signed up on my sign up sheet 24 hours beforehand. So jump in there, mickeyart.co.nz/sign up, and check it out. I adore you. Have fun. Bye bye.